Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers, is brought to you by Scoville.com. Try Scoville.com's hot sauce subscription box, where you pick the heat, flavor, and food pairings you want in your box. Get 1 or 3 bottles delivered to your door each month. Choose your heat level, flavor profile, and food pairings. And it's completely customizable each month. You no longer have to worry about getting sauces you don't like or won't use. Scoville.com specially curates each month's box based on your personal preferences. And best of all, High Desert Sauce Co., Butterfly Bakery of Vermont, and Irish Spike's unique hot sauces are all available at Scoville.com. Welcome to Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers. I'm Spike.
I'm Claire.
And Zach will be here another week. I don't know what else to say. We miss you, Zach.
Yeah, we miss you. Hopefully you'll show up.
And today we're talking to say that again. I'm sorry.
We're looking forward to meeting you, Zach. Hopefully we'll see you next time.
There we go. We're talking to Henry and Sam from Hook and Arrow. Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Yeah, we're really happy to have you.
And since Zach's not here, I'll say welcome to the shit show.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to that.
All right. So why don't you tell us your hot sauce history, how you got into spicy foods, and then how that led into a hot sauce business?
Yeah, sure. I guess I'll start. So I've always been into hot sauce. I've always enjoyed it. I remember when we were younger, we took a trip down to New Orleans, and we just saw Tabasco everywhere. And I'm like, wow, there's like a really big culture for hot sauce down here. And since then, I've always been interested in hot sauce. And then in terms of the business, we got started at the end of 2019. I left my previous job. I was going to take some time off, kind of figure things out. And then that's when the world shut down and no one was hiring. So I had a lot of free time. So I was working on a lot of stuff I enjoyed. So cooking was one of them. So I had time to do a lot of longer fermenting projects and things like that. I started making a lot of hot sauce. And then as a way of keeping in touch with friends and family during the pandemic, I just started mailing hot sauce to anyone who wanted it. And then people were asking like, oh, this is really good. Can I get some more? And then that's when Sam chimed in and he's like, this is going pretty well. Maybe you should, make this a business. And he joined me and here we are.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And he was always more like into hot sauce. I was kind of more of a horseradish and mustard person. Like we grew up with a Polish side of our family, horseradish. So there was a couple of times we would, like, I think we were in St. Augustine. We were at this hot sauce store, so we were trying all these different flavors. He was going to town trying everything. I tried a couple. I'm like, not so much. But it was a Pepper Palace as well. So they don't have the best sauces. But there was another trip. We did a family trip to Greenport, New York, and I think that was there. He had tried Greenport Fires, the store. It's a great hot sauce store out there, and he tried their habanero sauce. And I remember his eyes like lit up.
And really good sauce.
That kind of got him making his own habanero sauces, which is kind of what I tried. I'm like, this might be the best hot sauce I've ever tried. And one thing led to another, and now we're eating the spiciest stuff we can get for fun.
So both of you are into really, really hot now?
Yeah, not like stupid hot, but like our heat tolerance, mine especially, it has really, really gone up since we started this journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the range on heat on your hot sauces?
Nothing we have is crazy quite yet. Our hottest is a habanero sauce, and our mildest, they're sweet sauces with barely any heat, like the sweet, the blueberry and the strawberry sauce.
Those are really good, by the way. I like those.
They have ghost pepper in it, but it's like the smallest amount of ghost pepper. So
Yeah. What you guys do a lot of events, right?
Yeah, we try to. We do whatever hot sauce events we can get into, and then anything that's kind of on brand for us. There's a bunch of outdoor shows, like hunting and fishing shows in January, February, March, and then whatever kind of local town fairs in Connecticut that we can do. So there's like a garlic festival is a really big one.
Yep.
That sort of thing.
I never thought about doing hunting and fishing shows. We get a ton of those out here. I mean, we're in the Pacific Northwest, so I might look into that.
And
Spokane has a ton of stuff like that.
Yeah, it works really well for us too because everyone's selling fishing poles and lures, and we're the only one selling hot sauce.
Yeah.
So if someone gets dragged along and they're like, "Well, I don't like fishing, but hot sauce is pretty cool."
Yeah, I'm trying to find more of those events that I can be the only one rather than like, in a sea of hot sauce makers.
Exactly.
Or occasionally I'll do events where I'm the only one, but like there's also like 10 people total at the event.
Yeah.
That doesn't really do it.
Yeah, we did a Comic-Con up in Spokane, and that was really good. We liked that a lot. So I would do Comic-Con again. But I had always thought, like car shows would be great because you're going to have a lot of people with, that kind of mentality. They're going to love the hot sauce. But I don't know why here I never thought of that. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're doing a 5K. I think it's a 5K later this year. And that feels on brand for us. So I don't know. I don't know if it'll do well, but it feels good.
Now, you guys said you were going to be in Portland. Do you have like a game plan to go all the way across the country?
Yeah, we're just going to ship a pallet out and, cross our fingers, hope it makes it there. And we're flying out.
That's a good way.
I applied for the expo last year and it was already booked up, so we couldn't get in. But I love Portland and the state of Oregon. So I ended up taking my wife. We made a trip out of it. We went to the show and it was over 100 degrees, but all the lines were like 10 people deep.
That's awesome.
I wanted to talk to a bunch of the other makers, but there was no time. You had to wait in line. They ran through their lineup of sauces, and that was about it. So got to meet a few people very quickly, but hopefully I'll have a little bit more time this year.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say I really enjoy going to hot sauce shows just as a customer. I feel like there's just so much to learn and people to meet and all of that. And I'm going to be going to New York for that same reason this year.
Nice. Are you not? You don't have a booth in New York this year?
No, nope. I'm just going there to hang out and meet people, and I do take the opportunity to do some visits to some of our customers in New York City, but I don't have a booth.
I like doing. We went. My wife and I went to visit Fiery Foods, but didn't get a booth, and that was great. That gave us a lot of game planning we can do for Portland. That helps a lot. But also, I don't think I would I wouldn't want to go that far. Just me. That's amazing that you guys are doing that. I can't even imagine, but I can mailing or shipping everything that I could see that. But just, it's a lot. And I think Portland and anything in the Northwest will be pretty much our staple,
Yeah.
That's a smart thing to do. Yeah. The best of the ones you can drive home at night, even if it's a 2-day event.
Yeah. We did an event at a local brewery recently, and it was just so fantastic. It was a 3-day event, but every night just home in our own beds, and it was great.
Oh,
yeah.
Do you guys? So now, do you make your own or do you co-pack?
We co-pack.
You co-pack.
Yeah, we thought about it in the beginning. I toured some shared kitchens and stuff, and we just kind of weighed the pros and cons and decided co-packing.
So from the beginning, you co-pack.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably. I think that's a lot easier. It would be hard to start doing it and then veer off partway through.
Yeah. Because every time I feel like you whether you switch co-packers or if you make it yourself and then you go to a co-packer, no matter what, if you're using the same ingredients, something is going to be a little bit different no matter what, whether it's texture or color or something. So,
and I can tell you, even when you're making it yourself, if you make a change, suddenly you find yourself having to adjust everything because everything's different.
Yeah,
so
or the peppers really are in peak season and then they're not in peak season in the next batch, and that'll change things. So,
oh God, you change where you get your peppers. That's awful.
This is what I love about getting all my peppers in peak season from local farms is that the farms vary and the peppers, but I know how they vary. So definitely in co-packing, I deal with, customers who get or clients who get their peppers from just our local, produce purveyor. And the habaneros change and the jalapenos change. And I just love getting them from my freezer, and they're all consistent.
That's good.
So do you have a go-to ingredient that you have? I mean, I think you mentioned habanero at some point, but is there a go-to ingredient in your recipes that you it's your staple?
So I'm going to jump in here right now. And I got to say, my brother he does most of the recipe development and comes up with most of the creative, what's in the bottle ideas. And he'll just get an idea and run with it. And some things are just There's not like any one base that our sauces are built off of. He'll just kind of get an idea and go. And it's like a lot of times it's like for a specific purpose, like there's a food he wants to pair with, or this would be a cool idea to have a hot sauce flavor like this. So it's kind of fun for me to watch that, because a lot of times too, he'll like just build the recipe in his brain, and like after a couple months of thinking about it, it's pretty quick to, once he starts mixing ingredients, to actually get something that's good and we can use for production.
That's awesome.
I like playing with flavors. So if I have a flavor in mind or an idea, I'll just kind of run with it. So there's no ingredient I start with or ingredient I need to use or a certain pepper I like to use over other ones. I just kind of try different things till I find out what's going to work for this idea. Yeah.
Awesome. Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers, is brought to you by Irish Spike's unique hot sauces and Vandal pepper sauces. I'm Spike, the owner and executive saucier. Our sauces are handmade in the Pacific Northwest using the best possible ingredient. We believe that hot sauce equates to a balance of sensational heat coupled with a robust and complex flavor profile. Live your hottest life with Irish Spike's. Irish Spike's unique hot sauces and Vandal pepper sauces are available at saucecult.com.
What in the world of hot sauces, besides your own, do you really enjoy? Do you find yourself gravitating towards specific sauces or flavors? What do you like?
Oh God, that's a good question, but that's a really tough question. If you go to any hot sauce show and go through all the booths, everyone's got something different, even if they're using the same ingredients, whether it's like their own sriracha, they're all going to be different. They're all going to be highlighting different, maybe local ingredients. So that's a tough question.
Yeah. Sorry, for me, like I like if I can like picture what I'm going to use it on, I think that's really kind of what draws me towards certain sauces. There's certain sauces that like on their own like use like really creative ingredients and taste good, but if I have a hard time thinking about how I'm going to use it, like that's that's not really the kind of sauces I'm after. But yeah, like some of ours, we've got like our cayenne garlic is like a really like rich. It's got like chunks. It's got like a nice texture. Like that kind of thing is like really stuff that I like.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I guess to add on to that too, it depends what I'm eating, because there might be a sauce I really love, but it doesn't go with this food. So it all, and I'm sure all of us have a bunch of hot sauces on our shelves. So I'm always just grabbing different ones depending on what I'm eating.
That was my next question. Do you think you eat your sauce more, or do you eat other people's sauce? I've switched up recently because of the podcast. I eat other people's sauce more than I eat my own, except right after I make one.
Yeah, I definitely eat other people's sauces more. One, because there's so many good flavors out there, and I just want to try everything. Yeah. But also, too, I remember the first time I had the first sauce I made that I was like really like, wow, this is awesome. And I don't want to eat it so much to the point where it kind of loses that like that special quality, I guess. So I like to kind of savor my own sauces.
Yeah.
And we also at these events where there's other hot sauce makers, we end up trading so many sauces with people, so we end up getting tons and tons of other maker sauces. So to the point where my wife thinks this whole business is a scam, just so I can get free hot sauce from people. But yeah, we just try to kind of work through the rotation and the stockpile that we have.
My wife was complaining about all the hot sauces everywhere, and I talked her into getting me one of those little fridges so that I could just put my hot sauce in there. But we've
nice.
Quickly filled that up, and we've still got them everywhere.
Yeah. We honestly go through and clear out sauces every once in a while, because our whole door is hot sauce, and then when it starts creeping into the fridge, it's like, okay, time to clear them out. The sauces we loved, but we're not going to go back to them, so let's just move them out.
Yeah.
So I have a question. So we interviewed the Stanky brothers, and they talked about the dynamic with their business, how they work, and how sometimes they don't agree, and sometimes it gets really heated and things like that. Do you guys have that same sort of thing? Is there one person that does one thing and another person that does it? Obviously you make the sauces. How does it work?
Yeah, good question. You want to go first, or?
Yeah, I listened to that interview with the Stanky brothers, and a lot of it sounds very similar. I think I could say, we're good at keeping each other in check. We are, you know, able to like be honest with each other in a way that no one else is. We are able to get under each other's skin in a way that no one else is able to. And like, I think we're also best friends. We used to be roommates. So like, there's nobody else I'd want to be on this journey with.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely, if my brother didn't join me early on, there's no way we would have been where we are now. So I'm really grateful that he joined me on this journey. But yeah, and what's good too is even though we shared the same upbringing growing up, we had a lot of the same experiences. Our strengths are completely opposite. So I'm much more the creative, whether it's doing photography and the visuals and recipe ideas and development for the most part,
fun stuff.
And then he does the numbers and he does a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, applications.
Yeah, if you need a Department of Health temporary food vendor permit, I'm your guy.
So we balance each other out very, very well.
That's awesome. I'm the only owner, and sometimes I really wish that I could spend more time in the kitchen and less time filling out those temporary food licenses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, you go.
Oh, I was just going to say I have other owners, but I'm the one who runs it pretty much.
Spike, did Zach text you?
No.
Because he did text me. He fell asleep.
And I see he did text me.
Okay.
Fell asleep hard.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Apparently.
Oh, no, that's to both of us. Yeah.
I was wondering what it's like this is like, I work with my brother here. Like, what is it to work with people you're not, or have partners that you're not related to? Like, how did that like kind of partnership come about, and how is it working with people? Like, I'm sure weird. Like you wouldn't fight the same way we would, or can't quite get along. Like, don't have the history that we do.
We've had moments, but never anything really that bad. Kevin was my boss, so and he owns the restaurant that we bottle our hot sauce in. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I have absolute trust in him. So that's one of the reasons why I will ask him his opinion of things so often. But he tries to get me to figure it out, and that's good because he wants me. He likes the news. It's not like he's like, don't bother me. But he, matter of fact, anything that happens, we're texting back and forth. But he seems to try and he wants me to get the experience because he's been doing this for years and years, and so it's really great. He gives me a lot of advice and also lets me figure things out.
I'm Claire George. I own Butterfly Bakery of Vermont. We make hot sauce, mustard, cookies, and granola, and 100% of our products are made with Vermont ingredients. The thing that I hear most often from people is that my hot sauce tastes like the peppers that are in it. We do really simple recipes that don't get too crazy and nitpicky, just to really accentuate the flavor of the peppers that are in there. The unique thing about our hot sauces is how much we feature the farm and the relationship with the farm and really bring the terroir of Vermont to our hot sauces. I am pretty sure I am the #1 purchaser of Vermont-grown chili peppers. I would love it if there would be a legitimate pepper market in Vermont where people would know Vermont for its peppers. We're all better for supporting each other. And I think that part really shows itself with the collaborations that I do with the other businesses and the other farms, that I love working together and coming up with new ideas and presenting each other with new challenges. And I think overall that's the attitude here. And I absolutely love it because that's my attitude. I try to live my life with love. The ingredients that I use, I would say that my values are reflected in that, that I use ingredients that, again, feel good, feel loving, feel supportive. The relationship with the farmer was how it all began. If I changed the reason for it being, if I went out and bought some commodity peppers, it might not be as good.
You can find Butterfly Bakery of Vermont hot sauce, mustard, granola, and cookies at butterflybakeryvt.com.
Yeah.
Now it is $100 hot sauce, and I bet you guys have know this journey. Just to give any new listeners an idea of what's going on, we're planning to make a hot sauce where the level of ingredients and the processes equal $100 makes a sauce worth $100. We've seen a few that have come out that are higher end sauces like that clearly aren't worth it. And so we thought it would be kind of fun to try and make one. It'll be all of us, Zach, Claire, and me making it. But we're asking our guests, what ingredients or processes do you think would make a sauce worth $100?
Nice. You want to go?
Yes. So, thinking about that, there's like a couple of different things to like get to that price point. It could be like, volume, time, scarcity, effort, ingredients. I know there's one brand out there. They sell like 20 bottles a week. So that's how they get to that price point. So I'm assuming like that's probably not something you want to do. You want something that's like where the quality of the sauce itself is for that $100, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is just going to be
for a 5-ounce bottle.
Yeah.
Although nobody else has mentioned volume, and I am really entertained by the idea of selling like, I don't know, a 20-gallon bottle of hot sauce.
That was my first thought,
liter.
was like getting a giant bottle of champagne, like just dumping out the champagne and pouring.
A magnum of hot sauce.
Or just a drum. Just a drum of hot sauce. It would be a lot more than $100, but just wheel it up to somebody's house. You could put a pump on it. It'd be great.
It would be funny if we like did it in a wine bottle or something, and wine bottle would be too small, but let's say a magnum, and then we just took all the pictures back far enough so nobody would know that it's that size.
Yes, I had thought about this like great answer that involved like time and aging and preserving, and that's the balsamic vinegar with the different barrels. And then I listened to your interview with Kenji, and he said the same thing. So I feel like I can't say that, but like that process, it's so cool. Where like traditionally when a daughter was born, they would have a set of these casks made. And the balsamic vinegar that's created was supposed to be like the dowry when she got married. So like that's when it was ready, like 20 years later. So I thought something like that would be cool. But I don't know. I just like thinking like premium ingredients like champagne or like oysters, like that sort of thing. I don't know.
What about another thing? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Another thing, the cat poop coffee.
You've read Civet Cat coffee?
Yeah.
Have you had it? It's really good.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's really good.
I'd give it a try. Seems weird.
I got some for my wife for Christmas, and we drank it, and we were like, we were just stunned at how it actually was really, really good. I don't know if it was worth the price, but it was definitely worth trying once. How
much is a cup of coffee or a pound of beans or whatever?
It was expensive, but I think it was like, I don't know, $30 or $40. The really expensive, the one that's more expensive than that is there's an elephant version that does the same thing. Wow. Because it takes so much longer to transfer through the elephant.
The time. Yeah.
And the harvesting is in a little bit
more voluminous.
Yeah. It's not little pellets. It's
we did moving away from poop. We did a couple episodes ago that it hasn't aired yet, but it will by the time this airs. We talked to somebody who mentioned a soy sauce company in Connecticut that sounded really good, and I ordered some, and I really like it. So we'll see.
Their soy sauce is fantastic.
Oh, you know who?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah. They're fantastic.
Yeah, I ordered that, and I've been enjoying it. I actually had some with my dinner tonight, and it is just really, it's so much more flavorful and nuanced than your regular soy sauces.
I'm gonna have to order some
really fun stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
Have you thought about for the $100 hot sauce, instead of like having an artist make a label that you print a bunch of, having them like print unique labels for each, or like if you're a printmaking process or something, so each label is a piece of art?
I really like that idea.
I do too, a lot.
It's like each bottle's its own NFT.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem is I had originally said 50 bottles, and Claire and Zach I said, okay, I'll they want to do more, and so I said 100. I think you guys have seen this and now we're doing 150.
150. It's what fits in our pots.
50, I think we could get original art for each one.
I think we could get it for 150. So there are more artists per capita in Vermont than anywhere else in the country. So I can't think of anybody in particular who would do it, but we have a lot of production artists, and that's what they do is production artwork. So I used to run a craft show, and we did custom artwork on every poster every year, and I would contract with a different artist every year. And where I found the best artwork was actually children's book illustrators.
Oh, I can see that. I like tattoo artists because the lines are so strong.
Yeah. But I think that if we're talking about, I mean, the artwork doesn't have to be utterly unique.
Yeah.
Like it just has to be close to unique. So I think that we'd have to figure out a budget for it and figure out who, but I really like the idea of having each one be unique.
And as you know, I've got a stable of, I hate to say it that way, but of artists that I work with. But I do. And by the way, I do if you guys ever need any art, Claire, you and everybody, I recommend people they'll tell me what they're doing and I'll say, oh, this artist would be good for that, and give them their info. So, but, nice. I could hit a bunch of them up, and there's also I've got a whole bunch set aside that I haven't even got to yet. So
awesome. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, that is.
And nobody has said that yet. So
yeah, that's one of the best ones we've heard. Thank you so much.
And then another thing I was thinking of. So I went to art school too. So like I've done a lot of I did printmaking in college, and I'm a photographer. But what about like custom bottles? So like hand blown glass bottles or ceramic bottles or something like that.
We did look into that. It would cost way more than $100 a bottle.
Yeah.
There's a guy locally who makes custom bottles, and they're like $800 to $2,500 a piece.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I don't know if we could get a hermetic seal on them.
Yeah, that would be
so,
it would be a cork, something like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a funny thought to think that we could go a lot more than $100. And
next one, hot sauce.
Or what if we got like one or two like really fancy bottles and we charge a whole bunch for that?
I kind of like that.
Or you randomly ship that one to someone who orders, and no one knows who they're going to get. Who's going to get that one?
I don't know if we would do that if it cost us $800. Maybe that might be hard pressed.
One of you crazy people is going to get the magic bottle.
You win the hot sauce factory.
I do like the idea of like different tiers. Like it's the same hot sauce, but there's like a few collector-y items or something.
Kind of like that too. Like 10 really, really special ones. And then, that's that. Yeah. I like that.
It's like getting front row tickets or something.
Yeah. Where are we at?
So actually, I just want to say, speaking of, it's not front row tickets, but I went to a comedy improv show on Friday. You guys are familiar with Whose Line Is It Anyway, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So this was Colin Mockery and Brad Sherwood that are touring and doing comedy. And I've been to Who's Live Anyway, which is like Ryan and some of the other guys. But so we went to this on Friday, and we were sitting third row, I think. And at the beginning of the show, they asked if anybody in the audience owns their own business. Raised my hand because I was sitting up front. They called on me. They asked me my name and the company name and what we do. And then they sprinkled Butterfly Bakery of Vermont throughout the show, including an entire skit about Butterfly Bakery of Vermont done in Susian rhyme.
Oh my goodness. That's so fantastic.
That's awesome.
It was amazing.
Please tell me somebody filmed that so you can put it on your social media.
I did. And they actually, I didn't realize it until after the intermission, but they have a sign at the place that we were at saying no filming. And I was like, you know what? Somebody's just going to have to stop me because I am going to be recording this.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm gonna post it. I just have to clip the video down to like the relevant pieces. But yeah, it was really awesome.
So cool.
Yeah.
So hot takes. Do you guys have hot takes? Oh, you know what? I took that question from you. I'm sorry.
No, we're not going in any kind of order. Right. Just ask. We're good.
So do you guys have any hot takes? Things about that other people pretty much are in line with, but you're not.
So I don't know if this is hot take necessarily or something people don't agree with, but my hot take is hot sauce for breakfast, not hot sauce on breakfast. Meaning that when we're working on a recipe and we're getting it and it's pretty close, but you're tasting hops, and it's like the hotter it is, the harder it is, because your palate just gets blown out with the heat. Like you're going to a hot sauce festival and tasting everything at the end, you don't know what tastes, whatever. So what we like to do is hop on our morning call before we brushed our teeth, before we had coffee. We'll grab a hot sauce we're working on. We'll throw it on a spoon and taste it. And if it's the first thing in the morning and we taste it and we like it, then we know it's going to be a winner.
Oh, that's good.
My hot
Nice.
take. That's how because we could also ask family and friends, but they might not give us the feedback we want anyways. So that's our way of determining if a hot sauce is going to be a winner.
I get kind of miserable eating hot sauce first thing in the morning.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the last thing you want to eat. But if you eat it and it's good, then it's good.
Then it's good. I like that. I like that. I don't eat breakfast until later in the day, and so it is not unusual that I do my tasting at work at before I've had breakfast, and including taco vibes. Like I was eating that bite after bite after bite on an empty stomach, and I was very unhappy. There weren't enough antacids.
Oh, that reminds me of doing the pumpkin reaper when we first did that. It just laid me out.
And you have to taste it so many times, and each time it's subsequently harder to taste it, and you're just trying to dial it in, and you just want to be done, and you just want to say it's good, but you can't tell if it is. Yeah.
That's when I start having other people taste it. My MO, I think I've said this before, is that I'll have a bunch of people taste it and ask them what they would change about it, and then if anything aligns, then I look at it, but otherwise
Nice.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to do that with writing. I learned that from writing school. If you have a bunch of people read your stuff and you tell them when you look away from the paper, make a mark. And if I had everybody do that, then I would, that part I need to look at.
Yeah, that's I'm listening to an audiobook about business stuff, and I find my brain, it's a well-written book, but it's really dry. And I'm just more often I'm like, I should be listening, but look, a bird. It's just, do you guys have any advice for people who are just starting out?
Good question.
Yeah. I think we've had a lot of luck reaching out to other sauce makers. They've been really helpful answering questions we didn't know that we needed to ask. And most people that we've sought advice from have been there and helped us out. So
yeah, like Brian from Crack Sauce, because he had a podcast. I don't know if he's still making it, but we listened to his podcast early on and reached out to him, got some advice from him. And there's countless people that have helped us along the way. But yeah, I'd say reach out to other sauce makers, ask for advice.
Yeah.
And it'll save you a lot of money.
Yeah. I really do love the hot sauce community. It's great.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome.
I mean, people will complain about it, but you can complain about any group. I think for sure. Any group, the hot sauce community is one of the best I've been a part of. So
yeah.
Flavor Balance Heat is brought to you by High Desert Sauce Co. out of Tucson, Arizona. Zach is the owner and creative mind behind High Desert Sauce Co.'s hot sauces. He says, at High Desert Sauce Co., we make sauces that we love. The balance of bold heat and fresh flavor is the heart of our philosophy. We keep it simple by using the best ingredients we can get our hands on and letting the natural flavors run the show. High Desert Sauce Co., just the good stuff. Visit High Desert at hdsauceco.com. So, hot sauce show and tell.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right.
What'd you guys bring?
First?
You do.
Okay, so I brought this one. It's from Clark & Hopkins.
Nice. I like them.
So this is, I think it's a limited edition barrel-aged hot sauce. So it's got peaches, rye whiskey, and peanuts in it, and it's called Virginia.
Ooh.
Wow.
And are you guys familiar with Clark & Hopkins?
I am.
Yeah,
I didn't know that
really
they had
nice
a peach and whiskey hot sauce. We did a bourbon peach. I'd love to. I'm going to have to order that. That's awesome.
Yeah. You mean to read through the
and
ingredients?
peanuts.
Yeah. The idea of peanuts with it sounds good. Say that again.
Should I read through the ingredient list?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Apple cider vinegar, jalapenos, red habaneros, onion, garlic, peaches, peanut butter, rye whiskey, tomato paste, molasses, smoked paprika, ginger, black pepper, spices, and sea salt.
Interesting.
Nice.
Peanuts is a...
Then I brought Horseshoe Brand Korean ginger hot sauce. These guys, we actually met them at an event right before we had launched. And again, really helpful, really friendly. And they had some really good sauces as well.
Yeah, all their sauces are fantastic. And same with Clark & Hopkins. They don't miss. Their flavors are just fantastic.
Awesome. I don't think I've
Those are
had
great.
them, so I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, they're based in upstate New York, so I think they've got a pretty good like local footprint in this area. But yeah, they won't travel to the West Coast for an event like we will. I think they're smarter.
I mean,
not to mention,
We still have plenty of mistakes to make.
yeah,
Yeah. You
That's
haven't made them all
definitely
yet.
gonna break you, give you more sales on the West Coast. So I don't know if that's a bad thing to do. It's just a hard thing to do. So,
What do you have, Spike?
okay, I'll go next. I have Sam Sauce, hot Hannah. I can't say this one. Hot Hannah banana ram. Is that right? Yeah, it's the banana one, and I hate banana. I mean, I hate bananas, and the banana is the first ingredient to this. And so my crew and I sampled this. I put a video up on my personal page, but it doesn't. I smell banana, but I don't. And then same thing when I taste it, I taste banana, but I don't. It doesn't have that musky side. It's got everything else, and that's what I hate is that muskiness of a banana. It's phenomenal. It was my favorite of the ones he sent. Just a really, really good sauce.
Yeah, I haven't tried that one yet, but it sounds good. It sounds really good.
Cool. Well, I have Spice Beast Tin Barn Brewing Passionate Secrets. And it is a collaboration with Tin Barn Brewing. And it's got passion fruit, imperial stout, agave sweetened cocoa powder, Carolina Reapers or the peppers. And it was good. I got this in Boston. This guy was really fun to talk to. He also did a lot of spices and smoking. We talked about, he did like smoked salts and stuff. And we did talked a lot about smoking and all of the smoking things. So yeah, that's what I
Nice.
Awesome.
You tasting?
You
gave that up?
We sometimes do and we sometimes don't.
Okay.
I don't know. For me, it's always really late and like, I can. Actually, Zach really hates doing it because, and that's probably why we got out of the habit, because then he has too many open bottles of sauce.
Yeah.
And so that's.
I can taste mine. You guys want to taste yours? I'll taste mine.
I mean, I'll taste mine.
Yeah.
If we're tasting, and Zach did text and he wanted us to tell you guys that he didn't miss it on purpose. So we apologize for not being here.
See, he likes you guys.
All right, nice. Cool. Are you gonna try this one too?
oh yeah, I guess I'll try mine. Let's try my own.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Well, that's got a kick. Nice sweetness.
Really good.
I really don't know how he did that. I can't even be in the house when my wife makes banana bread. I can't.
Wow.
Really good.
So
I
crazy.
adore bananas.
Yeah,
They're
love
like
bananas.
one of my favorite things in the world. I didn't even know there existed people who didn't like bananas until about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I also don't like vanilla in general. I don't like the smell of vanilla.
I'm sorry
I like
that
vanilla.
you're wrong.
I like in our bourbon peach, we had a pretty solid amount of vanilla, and that worked for me. But I don't like the smell of vanilla. It just
See, I would say that I should send you some of my vanilla just for you to like, to win you over or something, but then you might not like it. And then it's a waste of a bottle of vanilla.
you did. And
did I send it to you?
You did, and it was wonderful in ingredients. I don't hate the taste of vanilla. It's just the smell.
Yeah.
So
I love the smell. And then actually the taste is kind of disappointing by itself. When I was a kid, I would smell vanilla and be like, oh my God, it's amazing. I would taste it. I'd be like, what the hell? Yeah. So
It's mostly alcohol.
I forgot that I sent you vanilla.
yeah, it was very good.
Yeah. Now I'm wondering, I'll have to, yeah, cool. Good.
My wife has used it with anything she's baked with since.
For my kid's birthday, I made a meringue frosting and used that for the frosting. So it was like, it's a Henry and Sam. It's a bourbon. It's a barrel, not bourbon barrel. It's a barrel aged cold brewed vanilla extract. So it's got a lot of flavor and nuance and all that stuff. And so that came across because the meringue is so gentle.
Yeah.
It was really good.
That's
Cool.
so
Sounds awesome.
really, really good. Well, what's next for Hook and Arrow?
So yeah, we've got a couple more sauces that are pretty close to production, and we're really, really excited about.
Now that we got kind of pretty standard sauces, we're gonna start making some really weird sauces. Not weird, but like some kind of some different sauces that you won't really see anywhere else. So
Nice.
That's awesome.
pretty
That's
excited
where
about
we're
that.
at.
We
We're
got some-
doing the weird stuff.
Yeah. So we got that. Got some events coming up.
Yeah, busy fall. We're gonna be out in Portland in August. So look us up at the PDX Hot Sauce Expo. we'll be at NYC again as well.
Nice.
We'll definitely have to hang out for a bit afterwards or something in Portland. I know that I think the day before is the setup, and after setup, I think it's going to be pretty chill. So maybe we'll have to hang out.
Yeah, and I think one of the Ale Fire in Portland, they had like the after party, I think on Saturday last year.
Oh,
the makers. Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you guys have any questions for us?
Yeah. So Claire.
Yeah.
So you do Butterfly Bakery makes everything with locally sourced ingredients. Do you ever feel limited by that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, generally, no. I thrive with guidelines, which is funny because I really like knowing all the rules and then doing the things that nobody else thought of within those rules. So, but yeah, I mean, there are times when somebody's making a sauce that I'm like, oh, I want to make something like that. That sounds really cool. And then I'm like, nope, I can't, because I can't get mangoes or pineapple or whatever in Vermont. I did a fun April Fool's post where where I said we're making a mango habanero that one of our local farms figured out how to grow winter mangoes, and got an AI generated image of mangoes being picked in the snow. That was great.
That's awesome.
I feel like it pushes my creativity. I mean, sometimes when there's too many options, then it makes you choose the easiest among them. Whereas like if we, so primarily we source ingredients in the fall and then we put them in a freezer and then we use them the rest of the year. So in January, February, March, really the only ingredients we can work with are locally produced ingredients like beers, winter ingredients like squash and onions, or the things that are in our freezer. And there's not that much variety in our freezer. And so figuring out what we can make that's different, that's unique. I mean, we do at any given time, we have like 25 different hot sauces on our website. And so, figuring out how to be creative about that. And like our kitchen supervisor is a CIA trained chef. And so she's been doing a lot more now. And so we recently did a chermoula, which was like not in my wheelhouse. In fact, when she mentioned it, I didn't even know what it was. And it's like a Middle Eastern, kind of like a chimichurri or something like that, cilantro based, but just a really different flavor profile than anything else we had done with cilantro. So I feel like sure it's limiting, but so is like, I don't know, existing. That's limiting.
And then I guess follow up. Have you ever thought of making a side brand that would use ingredients outside of Vermont? And if you do, can you call it Moth Bakery of Vermont?
So yeah, it already exists. Okay. So it's not an active brand, but it's called Mariposa Spice Company. Mm-hmm. So butterfly already, right? Butterfly in Spanish. I've wanted to do that. And then every time I kind of start working on it, it just kind of doesn't really go anywhere. We once had one of the things that we run into the most that we would love to use ingredients for is that we have co-pack clients that for some reason or another leave a boatload of their ingredients in our facility. And so, we had somebody who did these fruit-based hot sauces. And so we have, 100 or 200 pounds of frozen strawberries. And like, we can't use them. and that kind of kills me because we started using local ingredients because they were leftover that, we trade with them trade with farmers at the farmer's market for their leftover ingredients. I like the idea of using trash ingredients because that's, I love reclaiming them. Garlic scapes. I mean, there are so many of our sauces and they are literally trash ingredients. Like they're hard to get because most farms just compost them or feed them to their pigs. And so using there you go. That right there.
This is not a hot sauce, and I did not know that until after I bought it.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I love this. Something's wrong here.
We're like, wait, no heat. Yeah. But yeah, so that's so I wish I had an avenue for using those ingredients. And sometimes we do. Sometimes we'll just make things and donate them to the food shelf just because we have the time to make them. In the pandemic, our supplier had a huge overrun of ingredients that were supposed to go to local colleges that were shut down. So we bought like a bunch of bagels, and we've got kettles to boil them in and ovens to bake them in. And so we cooked a bunch of bagels and we donated them to the homeless shelter. So we've done stuff like that before, but it would be nice to have an avenue for these ingredients. And at one point we had leftover honey from a different project. And so we made a spicy honey, but we literally only sell it at events. Like, we don't sell it on our website. It's been there for years. I mean, it's honey. It's not going to go bad. It's really good. It's a bourbon chipotle honey. I should probably put it on the website, but then I would have to explain who Mariposa Spice Company was. So, yeah.
Nice.
Any other questions for us?
I have no, do you have any questions? No. I have a question. Spike, so you have some like the weirdest flavor combinations, or like some like really off the wall stuff, which I absolutely love.
Thank you.
Like what comes to mind is the energy drink sauce you made. Are there like any flavor combinations that you tried and you're like, whoa, this is even too weird for me, that you just like, abandoned?
I don't think so. I think at some point I try and make it work. I can't remember giving up on one completely. I will make it and then I'll give up on it if it doesn't sell, But I gotta say, most of the time that has to do with bad marketing on my part, because that sauce even has its fans and people still ask for it. We had one called Idiot Sauce. It was a kitchen sink hot sauce that I didn't think was going to work, and we put everything together. It was 10 sauces, and it was really good. But it was just so hard to keep those sauces in a restaurant until we had enough. So we finally just had to give it up. But yeah, it's a blast being silly. We've got a watermelon curry coming down the pipe here in just a few weeks, and I'm really excited about that.
That sounds really cool. One more question, I guess, for the both of you. What like hot sauce or hot food or something was the first thing that kind of like opened your eyes to spicy food in general? Is there like one dish that you could kind of track back that like you had it and you're like, oh wow, there's something really interesting with spicy foods? Do you want to go first, Claire?
Sure. Not a dish in particular. My dad was really into spicy foods when I was growing up, so they were. And I grew up in California, so there was just kind of a background of spice in our food. We used poblanos the way that most people would use bell peppers. So that was like most dishes started with sauteing onions and poblanos in my house. I do remember having my first habanero when I was like 9, and we would often, my dad would grill pork tenderloin, and we would have just like flour tortillas and the pork tenderloin and some maybe salsa or something. I don't remember, usually some kind of veggie in there with it. And we had a habanero and that we could like nibble off of. And I just remember how overwhelmed I was by the heat of that I took like a bite and there was lots of cheering. And now I think about that and I'm like, oh, well, I mean, I'm not 9 anymore, but, spice was always just kind of a general background in my life, which I think was unusual for my age. I do find it really interesting that kind of most people in my generation have kind of a first introduction to spice. And I think that's going away, that I'm meeting more and more children who like spicy food that's, I do demos and some kid walks up and I'm like, oh, it's spicy. And they're like, oh, great. And I think that's really cool. That's really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I had a kid yesterday at the farmer's market. I don't know. He was probably 10, 12, eat our smoked ghost beer mustard and like a big helping of it. And his eyes didn't even water. Like the kid just was that's good. It's hot. It's good. And he handled it like an adult would. And I just couldn't believe it. It's great to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it was, so in my house, it was weird. My mom grew up with my grandfather who he hated anything that had flavor. So she grew up with nothing. And so garlic was too spicy for her. So my dad would make his chili and she would always complain about his chili. And in my mind, his chili was my first introduction to spice. And then he would eat his stuff. I remember eating pork rinds with Tabasco on it when I was a kid, and we would do that together and watch football and, those kind of things. My dad really has, even our logo is a lot of people, I don't know if you know the band Oingo Boingo. they did the weird science song for that movie and a bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
But anyway, they were this really cool band in the 80s. They had this kind of great aesthetic, and I made our logo based on their style because it was his favorite band. So
Nice.
Yeah,
that's great.
Speed round. All right. Yeah. So I think what we're going to do is I want to have Henry. Let's start with you. So I'll ask the question. This is a quick answer. So Henry, you answer it, and then Sam, you answer it, and then on the next one, switch, so that not the same person isn't getting the first answer every time.
Okay.
Does that make sense? And then these are silly, so just keep that in mind. All right, you win the lottery. What's the first hot sauce related thing you buy?
I'd probably buy a car so I could go to events. I live in New York City, so I don't have a car.
I would probably buy your $100 hot sauce.
I like that.
That's a good one.
If you had to give up the hot sauce business but could do anything else, what would it be? Starting with Sam.
So, yeah, someone asked me this about, winning the $300 million lottery. I'm going to Germany, and I'm not leaving until I've tried every sausage that they make. There's over 1,000.
I would do, is this for career
Yeah.
or just anything? Yeah. I would do large format landscape photography.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right. You only get one sauce for the rest of your life, Desert Island hot sauce. What's your Desert Island hot sauce?
I can't think of an exact sauce, but it would be some sort of Louisiana style, like maybe habanero level heat sauce that just kind of goes on everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know our cayenne habanero would probably be that sauce for me. But if so it's the same thing like the Louisiana style. If I have to pick somebody else's, crack sauce has their Mill City Red, which is pretty good, which is a little spicier, or Reds out of Rhode Island has a good Louisiana style as well.
Awesome. Let's see. If you had a sandwich named after you, what would it be, and what type of heat would you add to it?
Oh yeah, some type of Italian sub, probably sandwich on a ciabatta. It's got all kinds of Italian meats, mozzarella, and then cherry or chili, cherry peppers. It's not too spicy.
Yeah, I would do again Italian combo sandwich, maybe on a focaccia, and then a pepper spread.
Awesome. Okay. If you could go back in time and change one thing about your business journey, what would it be?
I can only one thing. Generally, just do more research and waste less money.
Oh, yeah.
Fail faster.
Yeah.
Probably just pick a different partner. Something similar. Just do more faster. Start with the bathtub thing. That you guys.
All right, let's see here. What's the best business advice you've ever received?
So I heard this on a podcast, and it was how you do one thing is how you do everything. So for us, our labels are just as important as what's in the bottle and the ingredients and all that stuff. So kind of that holistic, we want quality across the board.
I don't know if it's advice necessarily, but a quote that kind of sticks with me is, if you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you launched too late. So that's just something I like.
Oh, I like that. All right. If you had to fight another hot sauce company or hot sauce maker, who would you want it to be, and would you win?
You or me? Oh, me.
Cheers, yeah.
Another maker?
Yep.
Yeah. There's another company.
I think we got to throw down with the Stanky Boat.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's great.
I've always actually thought Spicy Shark. He's always he does a lot of work promoting sharks and trying to ban fishing, and Hook and Arrow. We're very obviously a fishing company, so I feel there's tension between us. May or may not be, but I feel we're opposite sides.
I'll ask him. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Gabe is a great guy.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
All right. If you could collaborate with one other hot sauce company, who would it be?
God, there's so many good ones out there. Kind of off the top of my head, I think Clark and Hopkins. I really, really like Brandon Clark and some of the sauces that they've made.
Awesome.
I'd also say, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
There's a bunch that I love so many brands, and they do so many good things. But to keep it short, probably Seed Ranch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you had to pare down to only one sauce, which one would it be?
Our sauces?
Yep.
Ooh, yeah. It's going to be the cayenne habanero.
All right.
Yeah, for me, from what we've launched so far, it'd be cayenne habanero. There's a sauce that we haven't launched yet that we're having trouble getting produced. That would probably be my go-to, but can't talk about that yet.
All right. And if your brand were a cave person, would it be a hunter or a gatherer, and why?
A hunter. And why? I mean, love fishing, love the outdoors, fishing,
right.
hunting. Yeah.
I guess I have to go with gatherer, right? Just it's trying to take what's available for us and make the most of it.
There you are. All right. Describe your favorite hot sauce without saying of yours, without saying a single ingredient or heat level.
This is mine first.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Sweet.
Okay.
Versatile. Yeah, I guess just versatile.
All right. Last one. If Pepto-Bismol asked you to make a hot sauce, what would you start with? What would you want to put in it, and what would what type of heat would you want to add?
I mean, the first thing would have to be Pepto, right?
Oh yeah, but I mean to go with the Pepto.
Oh, to go with Pepto?
Yeah.
Pepto. Let's see. Well, let's start with strawberry pudding.
Oh, okay.
And then for heat, I would go with scorpion peppers.
All right.
So yeah, is this something you want to pair with, or is this like you eat that and then you need to chase it with the Pepto?
No, it's a hot sauce made with Pepto-Bismol.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's super interesting. Yeah, probably would we want some like umami in there? Maybe some mushrooms that would balance out the chalkiness.
You know what my favorite part of that question is that Pepto's a weird thing because it's pink and you expect it to have one flavor, but then you get that mintiness in there, and that just sends people's brains, into a spiral. It's great. That's it.
I've never actually had it.
Really?
I don't think I have either.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, and I'm like,
I don't know. I mean, I've got some in my bathroom because my husband uses it, but I've never had it.
Yeah, it's got a minty flavor to it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, that's it. We're done.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for having us. We really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. It's really nice to meet you guys. I appreciate it.
Likewise. Looking forward to meeting you in person too.
Yeah, we've had the pleasure of meeting Claire a few times, and it's been great.
I was really happy to hear that you're going to be in Portland. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's such a great town.
Yeah. How long are you going to be in town for? Are you going to be there just for the event, or because
we get in on Thursday?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what we're planning to do as well.
And then we're going to stay till Monday. And if we do, we might take a trip over to Pine State Biscuits because they make great biscuits and gravy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So there you go.
Nice. Yeah, it's a long trip for us, so we're going to try and make the most of it and stay out there for a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll be out there for like a week.
Oh, great. Yeah. Awesome. Well, then we'll see you there. Take care now. This has been a Spike Mind Media production.